All right, cool, cool. So all right, cool. Let me take this out of my fucking ear right here. Um, so the only reason I'm going live is because I'm just being lazy, and I don't want to record on my phone and upload it and all that shit, right? So, um, but I was having these thoughts, just recently, um, and this is something that I will like, not that I'll keep to myself, but I find it interesting and like I'll leave it here, and if people ever see it, cool. If they don't, cool. And here's why. Um, I'm sure I'm not the only person who's thought about it or even pondered, but like, um, I've had like two crazy revelations today. That was just like, whoa, for me. One, I feel like there was a moment where I hadn't, me and this particular person, um, hadn't spoken in like 5 years, and that particular person is like um was an adult figure for me, right? Or yeah. And yeah, so the way that everything happened as far as school and everything, I didn't finish and all that stuff, it just kind of made me feel like, oh shit. And then I wasn't able to talk, and a lot of people just kind of had assumptions about what was going on in my life or what wasn't, or what it, whatever. And that person at the time, I knew they were going through something, so I was like not really pressing them or calling them. But I also felt like, based on what happened, considering that they would reach out to me, and it never happened. Um, and man, I was like heard about it for a while, like genuinely. And but to be able to speak with the person and then hear just the excitement, you know, and like that raw love, or just like I'm happy for you kind of thing. And whether or not all of that is true, or all of the whatever, but one thing that does hold weight is that when I was at that house, um he basically had infants, and not, yeah, basically a 1 year old and a 3 year old, 4 year old. And she's what, 11, 12 now, and he's 7. And I hear the excitement about those two children, just knowing the experiences that I've had with them myself. It just kind of is like, it was overwhelming in a positive way, a very positive way. And I felt like a huge weight was lifted off of my shoulders. So much so that it made me nervous. It made me nervous because I wasn't used to being. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but I wasn't used to being content, to being comfortable in my skin and my body, you know, to not feeling pain at those levels, you know? And it almost kind of had me wondering, like, yo, have I been addicted to pain? Because I almost felt like I can't create if I don't have some painful things to go through. And then I would think about, you know, the song As from Stevie Wonder. Yeah, he says, oh man. And the flowers know to bloom in early May, just as hate no love secure. You can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always, kind of thing. And it's like, hmm, yeah, he talks about pain in certain moments, but that's uplifting, that's inspiring. That's not, if he is speaking about pain, it's not fantasizing pain. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not fantasizing pain or being like, I'm grateful for everything I went through, but I'm not intentionally like going through more painful things to be able to express more painful things and kind of just sitting in a dark energy. Even if you feel kind of vibrant, you just sit in this dark energy of like, you know, which kind of leads me to my next thought, which I'm sure I'll probably clean that up. But I don't care. I don't care about cleaning it up. It doesn't matter if it's clean or not. I think where I'm really getting at is like for so long, I've been creating and like I saw uh I'm not as close to him, but one of the homeboys who plays bass, he had posted this video, and he was like mistakes included, which I find cool. And then I had just seen like this post of Questlove kind of mentioning um when did we start making art to like sustain ourselves? When did that become the number one thing to sustain ourselves versus it just being, just kind of speaking on everything becoming commercialized and less authentic and not really having something substantial or something that moves you in a way that can't be shaken. We just got a lot of, savory foods or just not full course meals. So. And that's no diss to anybody or anything. But I think a lot of people, especially in my generation, or anybody existing in this time, probably can feel the same things that I'm feeling, which is because I was literally just having this conversation with Gregory Hoffman, an amazing bass player. And it was basically just like, you know, because I was asking him, I'm like, yo, so, because we were talking about producing for a moment, very brief. And he was like, yeah, I used to, but, I'm just not begging to be seen anymore. I don't want to beg for people to see me kind of thing. I'm like, and I got him, and I was also like, well, I don't think it's like you begging, but I get where you're coming from. And I'm like, then I think I responded with what I respect is people who create, because he said he still creates, he's just not necessarily putting it out. And to me, I feel like that is the most authentic version of creation in itself. Um, to not worry about the next person or their thoughts on whether or not they like it, you know. It's just another form of therapy for me, honestly. And it feels good. And then I just think I went deeper into my rabbit hole myself where I'm like, that is so true. And maybe ultimately I'm lazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to work a job. Like I don't. I just want to create. That I genuinely enjoy creating. And I'm like, but I create all the time, and I'm not putting everything out. And I'm not putting everything out because I don't feel that it's good enough to monetize off of yet. And that's the problem. That's when you lose yourself within creation. And I will say, like, I have been off the astrology way for a minute. End up finding this chick on YouTube and like kind of like seeing some stuff. So it's like all of these, I've been just hearing the same things from a lot of different places, and it's like kind of just hitting me all at once. It's like, because realistically, if creating is all I want to do, then I don't have to move. Like I'm trying to move so I can get better at my craft, but I can get better at my craft here. Granted, I'm not again. I'm still moving. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be great. That's gonna be fine, and new experiences, new culture, and I feel like I'll definitely feel the pressures there. But I'm grateful that I'm having this realization now because I don't think that it'll make me succumb to it as easily as I would have succumbed to it any other time. Would have never put anything out. I would have never shown anything. And it's like and that's just a hard realization because when you're an artist, and when I say artist, I just mean creative in general, you just want to put the things out that you made out. You don't really care about. It's like even the idea now of me fixing something up and making it sound as good as it can, kind of like, kind of just makes me think like I'm doing everything for monetary gain. Like, don't get it twisted. I think you should get something to the sound that you like. But I think deep in that programming and deep in that subconscious mind that I'm getting into the sound that I like, but also the sound that I know is clean enough that everybody can listen to it. And you get what I'm saying and enjoy it. It's weird. It's like it's like right now I'm still on the wave of like I still feel like I should get it as clean as it should be, which I mean that's how it should be. But it's also, but if I don't, because if I don't, I won't have the opportunity to gain off of this. And I think what makes the pressure of gaining off of your art is so you can keep creating more art. Ultimately, so you can get to the point to where you can um, create without caring about the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Or caring about where your next meal coming from, or caring about where you're gonna be able to stay, or because you like all of those things are pretty much figured out. So that it's just that's the thought, you know, and like it makes it like I even posted this video on Instagram today, and I posted it because just out of nowhere I was like, I just felt like posting. I just felt like making something because when I was having that thought of like the initial thing, I started with me being able to talk to somebody and feeling like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulder of pain that um, it was like I was like, man, I started listening to the songs and I can hear the pain in them. I remember people being like, I can really feel what you're going through. And I don't think they're the most technical songs. I don't think they're the greatest songs. I don't, if I'm, that's me thinking about money. Yeah, like if I'm thinking about money on those songs, I don't, me personally, because if I, because in my head, I'm comparing that shit to Kendrick. I feel like Kendrick has written verses way better verses. Some of his multiple of his unreleased verses are, I'm sure, are better than some of those. Thinking about it from that standpoint, but I mean, you just can't think about it like that. I don't know. It's like you just, cause you are you, not trying to be nobody. You're just making art, and if you love making art, then it is what it is, and you have to accept that people are either gonna like it or they're not, and that's fine. It don't really make a difference, you know, because it doesn't deter you from either not creating or continuing to create, you know, as man, even the idea, because I'm like when you post something on Instagram, I was thinking about it, and this is kind of where me and Gregory we talking we talked about this, which I touched on it, but this is kind of more of what we talked about a little bit too. But yeah, even when I'm posting on Instagram, like the video I just mentioned, I in a way I'm like, yo, give me attention. You know, I want the attention. I want people to like it. I want people to see it. And I got plenty of, and that was why I started that whole, if you ever go to my Instagram, that was why I started that whole Black Tuesday campaign. I didn't really know what I was doing or why I did it or what the point of it was. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm kind of understanding the whole point of that was like, it was priming me. Like for me at the time, I said I was just gonna be posting stuff. Um, I was gonna make something. I had to make something once a week. Boom, boom, boom. Make it as good as I can. And boom. And there were times where I didn't start on it until that day or the day before. You know what I mean? Like, so I think Ultimately what that represented for me was like kind of the theory of like being comfortable posting and nobody liking it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. I do have hopes and wishes of people liking it for sure. A lot of people. I do see that for myself. But maybe it's like the order of steps. How could you get that if you can't just be comfortable posting? And I think there has to just come a point where like you have to disconnect from all of it and just say, I'm just doing this because I like it. This is a social platform where my friends exist on, other people exist on, and if people check it out and think it's cool, then cool. You know, it can connect me with people, and we could talk about stuff. We can collab on something, but you know, it don't have to be perfect. It just has to be you, authentic to you. You know, ultimately. So I put that video up, and I only got like 2 likes within the past 8 hours. Someone posted, or not posted a video. Someone put up a Instagram picture. Granted, it was Halloween, rather. It was on Halloween when I put that up, but somebody put a Instagram picture up, and of course you can't see the likes, so I don't know how many likes there are. I'm sure it was plethoras. Uh, but they had 155 comments. It's not a famous person. They had 155 comments in like what, maybe 5 hours. You know what I mean? And to think that you got that many interactions, I don't even see that on big posts. That many people interacting. You know, um, granted, I don't know, but um, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh man, I want that. I want that. I want that many people to support it, and you know what I mean. Like, I think ultimately what it does come down to is these verified people saying stuff and checking it out. I'm like, damn, check me out, like fuck with me, you know. And I think we do have this thing where it's like, one, is it good, simple? Is it good to the world? And the idea is, do other people hear and see that this could make money? But that don't even matter no more. It's one of those things where it's like, did you like it? And if you like it and you think it's cool, then fuck with those 2 people who fucked with you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with the people who fuck with you. And I think at the end of the day, that's just how it is and how it gotta be. It ain't a bad thing. You know, there's 7 billion people in this world, and no matter how big an artist is, they still don't reach all 7 billion people. And everybody has a different audience. You know, everybody has their group of people. Some are bigger than others, some are smaller than others, and it doesn't really matter. But everybody has a group of people that they can connect with based on what they make and what makes them happy from what they make in a very honest and genuine state. So yeah, I'm grateful actually that I posted that video and that it only got 2 likes, because it could have got none. So, and one of the likes was my mom. She don't always like my video, so but I think because she's in the picture, that's you know what I'm saying. But I'm laughing. I'm laughing, but I'm being very serious in the idea of like, I want to keep getting better at my craft, but I want to keep getting better at my craft, not just because I want to monetize off of it, but because I genuinely enjoy doing it and it makes me feel better. And I could have opportunities to play. It's like, yeah, it's still there. So obviously, if you heard this all the way through, you could just see I still haven't connected those dots completely, but I'm pondering on the ideas and thinking about it. You know, um, yeah, man, it's not all about monetization, and I think that is where there's going to be creative blocks for you because you're like, this got to be perfect. It got to be like this. But you just won't let it be what it is and what it can be. You can get things nicer, but like just move on your first thought. Don't be overly critical of what you're creating. Just, man, flow. And I don't think that the way that I feel about creating right now, outside of me being lazy, because I just don't feel like doing it right now, being honest. Like I just genuinely don't feel like playing the game, being a little lazy, but um, I feel like I'm in the most creative, flowing state that I've been in because I am releasing the need for perfection, the need to always be seen as perfect. You know what I'm saying? Or perfect for the best that I can make it, and still knowing that there's so many other layers of things that need to be better. If I want perfect, clean cut kind of thing, and I mean, just kind of feeling more comfortable in my own skin and just like accepting me as who I am right now, you know. Yeah, man. I guess that's all. It's nothing just super deep. It's more or less just my thoughts on creation and not being worried about monetization, attention, and all these things. If you want those things, if those things are meant for you, I do believe that they'll come, but don't leave with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Create. And like me, there are paths that I'm taking to make sure, like, well, at least I'll always be able to be doing something creative, make money off of that, and sustain myself. Because ultimately, I do just want to create in life, and that's it. Which leads me back to, am I being lazy? Is creating the only thing I want to do? Is it a gateway that I see myself to becoming rich? You know what I'm saying? Hmm. It's like, and that now makes me shift my focus and look into other worlds of like, all right, how some other ways we can make money. Therefore, in that way, when I'm creating, I'm not thinking about making money. I'm just creating. You know what I'm saying? And again, you're either gonna like it or you're not, and that's fine. But that pressure of like, I gotta figure this out, this, and that, you know. And even loving rap the way I love it, I feel like that is something that is heavily promoted within rap. You know, I'm thinking of a Cole lyric. I don't know I think it might have been in Cole's Summer or one of them. But it was a mixtape, one of his mixtapes, and he was saying basically, if my album flop, it's back to the post office, mama, some shit like that. So it might have been off of Born Center. I don't know. But yeah, just that he's not the only one who spoke about it, but just that pressure of like, if this art don't do well, then it's not. And some of their most creative and free products came after all of that shit. And niggas almost lost the drive to create at times because it was like, that's an unfamiliar place to create from, like, without pressure. And it's like, hmm, like, should creation always come with pressure behind it? I don't know. These are just my thoughts. And again, I've only went live and made a live because I just don't feel like uploading this shit from my phone. So hopefully there will be a way that this will stay and not go away. You know, I do think that this will be some interesting stuff for people to check out at some point in life. Just any creatives out there. But yeah, that's all. All right.